Well, it's Wrestling Wednesday, and you know what that means. So today, we got the final day of Gatoh Move ChocoPro, MLW's last show before the July 10th restart of the season, and also AEW Dynamite's Blood and Guts, but also some news updates for all of you guys. So let's get started with another episode of Deleted Wrestle Zone.
Are you ready? Get up, get up! 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 Get up, get up!
Welcome everybody to Deleted Wrestle Zone, all things that it's pro wrestling with AEW, NXT, New Japan Pro Wrestling, Impact Wrestling, the National Wrestling Alliance, various promotions, wrestlers, matches, and championships. I am your host Jay right here. So let's begin with the final day of Gatoh Move's Choco Pro, which is number 114 from their 5-day event they were doing. So we had three really fun matches that they had. So let's start from the first match. First match, we have Waka Tsukiyama taking on Emi Sakura. Basically, what I noticed, um, Tsukiyama, she tried to do every possible submission move to beat someone like Emi, but however, Emi Sakura is a veteran. You cannot beat someone like her at all in her way, being a veteran that she is. So she pulled off an amazing win with a pinfall. Next match, we got Sayaka taking on Ayumi Hayashumi. Now, Hayashumi really impresses me, me a lot with everything. Um, I didn't know what to expect on this one, but however, she pulled off an amazing victory. But however, the last match, which I like to consider the main event, is my favorite one. Finally, the Best Bros are back. Meishiruga and Balianaki taking on Saki and Sayaka Obihiro. Now, Saki was Balianaki's partner from the previous Choco Pro show they had, but this time they were opposite ends, of course. But Meishiruga continues with her mean streak attitude. If you guys don't know, she's always in the mean streak attitude. But it was a really incredible match. I always enjoyed the matches with the Best Bros, and however, they never cease to amaze me every time they pull off a good match, but also could pull off a good win. So they won their match. So there'll be more Choco Pro. We'll be following that on their Twitter page, and then hopefully in the future we'll continue more. If you guys haven't seen them, go on YouTube right now. You can find it. So let's move on with MLW. All right, so this is MLW's last event before. As you know, I mentioned earlier that they are going to have a televised show on Vice TV on July 10th, and of course, they're going to have live crowds. So, this will be the last one they'll be doing. I'll be stopping doing reviews of MLW, but if there's any news coming up in between now all the way to that time, you guys will be the ones to find out on this channel. Now, the first match we have Gringo Loco taking on Laredo Kid. A really fun match. I wasn't too much hyped for this one because there was no story build up, but however, they both are incredible high flyers. But however, I looked at Laredo Kid as the more advanced high flyer. So, but it did allow him to win the title. I'm really, I'm happy that he continues on. So he is really one of my favorites. So Laredo Kid won. Now, in recent months and weeks, we have been witnessing Hammerstone has been trying to get a shot of the MLW World title from Jacob Fatu. However, so far the match was never set. But Hammerstone came up with a very good, compelling argument. At first, he thought Jacob Fatu was ducking him, but he's starting to consider, what if that's not the case? What if it's Joseph Samael? What if he's scared that Hammerstone could be that guy to defeat him? So I have to say Hammerstone played out a very good story-wise character telling, saying, you Joseph Samael are the reason Jacob Fatu will not face me because you're scared. You know for a fact I could beat you. So he knows it. So basically that's what it is. But I don't know how Jacob Fatu would feel. He hasn't responded. I assumed he was going to respond to these accusations, these allegations he's been putting out, but nothing. Now, Alicia too made some great news updates that came out from her end. Apparently, we got Battle Riot coming out soon. That is an event where they have like a kind of like their battle royal. The winner will get an opportunity for the MLW World Heavyweight title. Is yet to be determined. It's going to happen some point in August, right after uh, MLW returns with a TV deal. Also, MLW has been recently, which from Alicia Tute's been saying, they've been contacting free agents, wrestlers who are no longer under contract with any promotions such as Impact, NWA, um, AEW, or WWE, or Ring of Honor. So they're trying to get those wrestlers to come down to their promotion. I would love to see wrestlers that actually are not currently under contract. I mean, there's a few I can think of, but that's another time. Now, the Von Erichs has been making headways. As you know, Ross made an impressive win against Dominic Garrini. Apparently, his training with Keiji Muto has paid off. But however, Ross Marshall will not make excuses due to the fact that he knows that he screwed up, that his knee wasn't 100%, but once he gets better, he will get his hands on Tom Lawler when he gets a chance. Now, Richard Holiday set up for another match against Ariel Dominguez. I wasn't too much hype on this one, but however, I can tell you one, but it's what happens afterwards. He was about to do an interview with Alicia Atut, but out of nowhere, Gino Medina shows up, you know, saying that, he wants another piece of him, but however, Holiday wasn't having it. And of course, he attacked him and, DDT'd him in the stairway, claiming he wasn't fired by Richard Holiday. He quit. So basically, we still continue with the whole he said, she said type of scenario. But we'll see what happens down the line. Now we get to the MLW the World Middleweight title. This is Myron Reed and Rush Part 2. Now, Rush wasn't too keen in this match, but he was obligated to do this match. A great match. However, the young goat was trying to prove that he is still the top of this game no matter who it is. And frankly, he actually pulled it off when he put the 450 splash on him, allowing to reclaim the world middleweight title and becoming a two-time middleweight champion. And of course, the celebration continued with the heavyweight hustle, Calvin Techman showing up, and so is Jordan Oliver. But that does not end right there. A week ago, we did witness Selena De La Renta being taken by Massman. We don't know who is El Jefe running the Azteca Underground. But now it's been revealed. It's none other than my biggest shock, Dario Cueto. Now, I haven't seen this guy since the end of season 4 of Lucha Underground. Now, some of you probably would say, is Lucha Underground back? No. This is a revival of a new type of version of Lucha Underground. That one was done by El Rey Television Network, the El Rey Network. They were planning a 5th season, but apparently they decided to forget it. So, however, we don't know who will join this new version of Azteca Underground. It will be under the umbrella of MLW. That's from what we do know. If there's any more word, you guys will be the first to know. So let's move on with AEW Blood and Guts. Okay, so the latest AEW Dynamite slash Blood and Guts was pretty cool. Let's go with the start and finish. The opening match was the infamous tag team between MT Nakazawa and Kenny Omega taking on Eddie Kingston and John Moxley. But however, Kenny wasn't there. They just left Nakazawa there. But however, I figured that this was a trap, even though I did enjoy the moment where, of course, Kenny was trying to be tough as possible, but they took out. He walked out and let he left Nakazawa to the wolves. So they won their match, but however, this was just an assault when the Bucks showed up and then the Good Brothers tried to take them out. So this is going to be a fight. Now, I'm kind of hoping somewhere down the line, Tama Tonga did offer him that he could give him some help because he hates Kenny Omega. I would love to see that. And of course, some fans would say, is he going to make him a Bullet Club member? I don't know. But that would be really interesting to see. Now, the next match was set from last week. QT Marshall taking on Cody Rhodes. A lot of interesting things happened. As you know, QT has his own weight belt that says Cody Killer. He even used it on him. But the one thing he did was smart, was trying to antagonize Arn Anderson. Trying to get him thrown out of the ringside, which he did. However, everything that he tried to pull off, he knew Cody's every move he was going to do, including the crossroads. But however, was he expecting the figure four leg lock? No. That allowed him to, in fact, tap out. But his little minion from the factory shows up, Anthony Gogo, and punches him right in the gut, covering him with the British flag. Now, I don't know if this is going to be a feud between Cody and Anthony Gogo, but if I'm Cody, I would train myself to the fittest if you want to avoid getting punched in the gut. Now, the next interview we had, it was in fact Paige and Sky all happy with themselves, saying they got rid of Sting, who's been sucking the lifeblood of the life force out of TNT, believing that he is that he needs to be stopped. The Showtime needs to stop. He needs to go. But Darby Allin showed up and, of course, tried to get retaliation for what they did to Sting. However, it was no good. They tossed him down the arm. However, he may have injured his arm, but we'll see what happens down the line, because that's the last thing many fans want to hear, is that he hurt himself and there's a chance that he could lose the title or drop it, or however they're going to play it out. Next match, well, you can say it is a very fixer one, is Dr. Britt Baker taking on Julia Hart. This was an easy match to ensure that she stays in the top ranking. She's been using, how we call them, the jobbers, to ensure she wins her matches, because she is now in line to face Hikaru Shida for the AEW World Women's Championship at Double or Nothing. So set your clocks for that. Next match, we have the number one contenders for the AEW tag team match. We have rankings from number 1, 2, 4, and 5. We have Varsity Blondes, Jurassic Express, SCU, and the Acclaim. Each of these teams are determined to prove that they deserve a shot of the AEW tag teams. Now, the Acclaim have lost not too long ago to them. SCU are determined to be the team that want to put the Bucks in their place. But however, it was one hell of a match. And of course, it was SCU to pick up the victory. But now keep in mind, if they lose a match, they're done. So we'll see what happens when we get there. Now, Moxley is set next week to face against Yuji Nagata. Now, Yuji Nagata, he respected, but he said some harsh things about Moxley. However, we'll see how that goes. Now, this is the first time that New Japan allowed AEW to sanction a title match of their brand, of their product, the IWGP United States Championship, at an AEW show. This is unprecedented. So, but however, this is going to be a good match to watch. No doubt about it. Now, we had an interview with Kenny Omega by Tony Schiavone saying that there's a ramifications that will lead to a number one contender for Kenny at Double or Nothing. However, there are two top contenders that most likely could face Kenny. One is Pac, the other, freshly squeezed Orange Cassidy. Now, Cassidy shows up. Kenny doesn't see that he is championship material. He doesn't see it that way. But this is a very interesting storyline. Now, probably somebody say, what happened to Hangman? Well, he got bumped up from number 1 to number 5. Brian Cage is number 4, and I think Moxley is number 3. And I think Orange is number 2 and Pac number 1. So it's kind of like that's how the whole thing works, but we'll see how that happens, how that turns out. Now, the next interview we had was Miro. He finally made his decision which title he wants to go for. He decides to target the TNT title, which is, to my surprise, but however, he wants to face Darby even if he's injured. Now, the real question is, can Darby be relentless and overcome this? We don't know. But that match will take place next week. Now we get to the blood and guts match. The first team that has the advantage is the Pinnacle. I have to say I like how the Pinnacle would dress all in white with purple and gold lining, while Inner Circle will dress in prison like jumpsuits and black jumpsuits with the prison names in the back from their neck the woods where they're from. I have to say this was a great match how it went. But the one thing that kind of went out of hand is when MJF somehow got Tully to get him out and run to the hills. Jericho chased him, but however, MJF forced the Inner Circle to surrender or he'll toss Jericho off the cage. And Sammy had to do it. He wasn't going to sacrifice Jericho to MJF's need. But however, MJF decided, what the hell? And he said, thank you. Now, I don't know how I've been seeing how fans enjoy that match, but I don't know what other fans are saying, those who did enjoy it. But I have to say it was a great, interesting match. But we'll see what happens down the line. Does MJF make another play for the world title? Because Pinnacle will be the top heel faction or so to take on. Hopefully, if they decide to go after the Elite, we'll see how that happens. Now, I'm going to end this episode with the news updates right now. Okay, so here's some news updates for all of you. First one, there have been rumors circulating about Tessa Blanchard could be heading to AEW, but however, it's already been revealed by many sources, Fightful, uh, Fightful, and a few others that now has been confirmed. No, AEW are not negotiating anything with Tessa Blanchard. Now, some of you fans probably say, but we've been hearing that. That's true. But these guys have verified in their sources, mostly coming from someone from inside AEW, so it's not going to happen. Next up, as you know, Daniel Bryan, his contract is now expired. We don't know what's next. He's already been now moved to the alumni section, but he did stated that he wants to be a part-timer wrestler now. He said the reason is for one, his neck has been hurting him a little bit, but he's also saying that he's reaching his 40 years old and he wants to be healthy enough for his daughter. I think that's, to me, I don't have a problem with it. I don't have a kids, but I feel like that's what he wants. But the real question, I don't think WWE would want him to be a part-timer. They probably would want him to be a full-timer because Rey Mysterio said he wanted that. but WWE said, no, we want you as a full timer. But I can see that maybe down the line we can see Daniel Bryan at another promotion that could offer him that. And he said he would like to work with other wrestlers he never worked with. And I think he mentioned he would like to face certain ones. I can't wait to see where it's going to happen, but we will monitor and follow what's going to happen with Daniel Bryan. Now, the latest news came around from New Japan. It's been revealed now that from New Japan that two of their talent has been contracted with COVID-19. Those guys is Yo and Kaguchika Okada. Now, it's still unclear if any other wrestlers were contracted by the virus. But however, they were supposed to be in night 2 of Dondaku Wrestling, but they were pulled out because of this. So they tested positive. So hopefully they get well and we get to see them again somewhere down the road. And finally, as I mentioned before, Andrade is making a play for the AAA Mega Championship against Kenny. It turns out that the current Impact Wrestling Knockouts champion, Deonna Purrazzo, has issued a challenge for the AAA Reina de Reinas Championship, who is now being held by Fabi Apache. Now, this particular title was vacant when Taya Valkyrie was signed with WWE. So basically, she was the last champion, so they set up a championship match. Whoever wins it will become the Reina de Reinas champion, and of course, Deonna Purrazzo was right there, and she issued the challenge. So now is a title versus title. So I will follow more on this one. I'm sure this is going to be a very interesting match to watch. So I think that's pretty much it with everything I have done reviewing, you know, AEW Dynamite's Blood and Guts, MLW, and of course Gatoh Move, and these new updates that had to be coming out for me for you guys to know what's been happening. So I'll see you guys in the next DWZ time. Same DWZ channel. I must bid all of you adieu. So goodbye. Mwah, and have a nice day. Bang.